Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video. That's right, finally and at long last, I am reviewing none other than the Orville. Yes, and I wish I had something Orville themed, shirt, but this will do, Family Guy, because hey, Seth MacFarlane, it's his show, so it makes sense. I'm eventually gonna try and find an Orville shirt. I don't see why there wouldn't be a shirt, I'd love to have one, so, probably most likely soon, and, I'd like to have it, like, when I review the rest of the show, seasons 2 and 3. So, anyways, season 1, this is where it all began, and, yeah. And, when'd you know it? Because it started around the same time, well, the same year when I started YouTube. So, hey, that's great. But yeah, so, season 1 of The Orville. Well, again, this is where it all started, and I think I remember, because, it's been so long, probably, yeah, I remember seeing promos and trailers when the show was happening, and, everybody knew, of course, that's awesome, Seth MacFarlane doing a Star Trek parody show, and, yeah, and especially since, this was kind of, the second time something like this happened, after, say, Galaxy Quest. Hey, that's another one. That's another piece of sci-fi that's an homage to Star Trek, and the Orville being the second one. Yeah, especially for Seth MacFarlane, let's face it, because, he is a huge Star Trek fan, and most notably a Next Generation fan, and he grew up with Next Generation. So you can tell, even say with season 1, I could tell, because it clearly pays homage to Star Trek, how it was, during the golden age, you know what I'm saying? Even especially with how the Star Trek shows were in the 90s. But yeah. There was a time when I did watch Orville, I do remember the year that it started, I did watch it. I did watch, the first few episodes, maybe, say, episodes 1 to, 4? Yeah, 1 to 4. And, I don't know, I just stopped. I don't know. I think at one point I lost interest in it. God, what was I thinking? But as of now, I'm watching it now, and I love this show. Just, yeah. I'm glad that I started watching this again, and I think I had to, because let's face it, this is the Orville, and how it's so good, yeah, and God, what a way to start this show, because what pissed me off was that, the way that the show opens, Captain Ed, played by Seth MacFarlane. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane. Yeah, that's the thing, because he most of the time stars in every show he creates, and, for that matter, movies that he's directed. So, anyways, so Captain Ed Mercer, played by Seth MacFarlane, the way that the first episode opens, and if I recall, yeah, Jon Favreau directed the first episode, the way that it opens, Ed Mercer, he comes back to his apartment or something, yeah, and he happens to see his wife, Kelly Grayson, played by Adrain Palicki? Am I saying her full name right? I do apologize if I'm not. But Captain Ed happens to see Kelly flat out cheating on him, and I'm like, well, that's a way to open the episode. Well, or should I say to open the show? And of course, years later, because now Captain Ed is now serving as captain on the USS Orville, and he happens to receive the news that his ex-wife will be his first officer. So, yeah, it doesn't go well at first. Then, of course, there was that and Command Performance, because in that one, both Ed and Kelly end up imprisoned on a replica of their old home, and Alara, Alara played by, hold on a second, I'm pulling it up, Alara played by Halston, yeah, I'm saying that right, Halston Sage, Lieutenant Alara Kitan, yeah, that sounds about right, Kitan. But the rest of the other characters of the show, like there was Lieutenant Gordon Malloy, played by Scott Grimes, who he would also happen to be on another Seth MacFarlane show, American Dad, voicing Steve Smith. So that's two shows that he's in of Seth MacFarlane's. Then there's also Dr. Claire Finn, played by Penny Johnson Gerald, who coincidentally was in Deep Space Nine, who would become Sisko's new love interest. Yeah, that's her. That's awesome for her being in this show, and a Star Trek cast member being part of this. That's awesome. Well, there have been a few other Star Trek cast members that have made appearances in this. Also, Lieutenant Commander Bortis, played by Peter Mackin. Yeah, I think I said that right. I wonder, I think it's obvious. Bortis is the Worf of the show, I guess. I mean, black actor, he's got the headpiece. I don't know. I mean, it's just, in my opinion, I don't know. Then there's also Lieutenant John Lamar, played by Jay Lee, and Isaac, who's a artificial life form, played by Mark Jackson. Yeah, I think it's kind of obvious that, because again, Seth MacFarlane watched Star Trek The Next Generation. He grew up with that show. That's all I need to say. Yeah, even say, Jeffrey Tambor and Holland Taylor, they play Ed's parents. Yeah. I almost forgot that they were his parents. That's pretty funny. Jeffrey Tambor and Holland Taylor, they're funny, so, funny actors. Yeah, and some of the, I actually started watching this show starting with episode 5, Priya, directed by Jonathan Frakes. In this episode, Priya, the name of the episode, I should say, Ed becomes smitten with the captain of a stranded ship, but Kelly suspects all is not what it seems. And Priya, her character's name is the title of the episode, Priya Levisky. I think I said that right. Levisky, which Charlie Theron guest stars in. She plays the main character, the title of the episode. Then there was also the chief engineer of the Orvilles, Steve Newton, played by Larry Joe Campbell. He appeared half in season 1, and then his character then was being transferred to another ship, and that's when later on, Lieutenant John Lamar is given the position of chief engineer. Oh yeah, even say Rachel MacFarlane has done the computer voice of the Orville. Didn't realize. It's even funny because in that episode of Priya, at the opening of that, the bridge crew are watching Seinfeld. Literally, it's funny. Oh yes, and can't forget to mention this one character who's literally a CG blob named Yaphet. Yeah, Yaphet, voiced by the late legendary comedian Norm Macdonald. Rest in peace. Yeah, so Yaphet was funny at times in this. Some of the other episodes, there was Krill. Ed and Gordon are sent on an undercover mission to infiltrate a Krill ship and obtain a copy of their Bible. Yeah. So in this one, Ed and Gordon, they are disguised as Krills. Krills are supposed to be the arch enemy of the show, and with the Orville crew and the Starfleet Command. Although I don't think it's called Starfleet Command, but I can't remember the name of it. Then, this was a good one. Majority Rule, episode 7. This one was pretty good. It did I know that Star Trek has done this kind of thing, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Kelly leads a team to find 2 missing Union anthropologists on a planet similar to Earth. Yeah, because in this one, the people of that planet, similar to Earth, are unaware of what's out in space, and that the Orville crew are beaming down, disguising themselves, blending in with the crowd, and they have to wear these badges. I almost forget the purpose of the badges, like just a little. Like it has to do something with voting or downvote, I want to say, I guess. And the Orville crew happens to, interact and, meet with, say, one person, that's on that planet. Lizella? I think I'm saying that right. Guest star, Georgia Wynnum. I think I got that right. Yeah. And, because this one was pretty good because Lamar gets arrested after, kind of messing with a statue, or whatever. But that was a pretty good episode. Then, because even, say, earlier in the show, Bortis and his mate, Clyden, they have a child, and, it's a girl. And apparently, their species have always been male, but it turns out, at the end of the episode, there was a female. So, and I guess, in a way, that one of them is kind of the mother, Yeah, I think they kind of said that, but, and then this was a good one too. This was another one of my favorites. Into the Fold, the crew set out to save Dr. Finn, her two sons, and Isaac after their shuttle gets thrown into uncharted space. This was a pretty good one. This was the episode where definitely mother and two sons bonding, and with Isaac accompanying them. They were gonna go to some place, but then their shuttle landed, and and the two sons. Yeah, I feel like, because, Marcus Finn, played by B.J. Tanner, and Ty Finn, played by Kay Winner. I feel as though that Marcus, the actor, I feel like I've seen him before in something else. Maybe, I don't know. But this was a pretty good one, especially, even though, because, even, it's established in the episode, even though that, get mad at each other or so on, they don't, and even say the things that they say, they don't mean it, and that's family sometimes, and, they still love each other, without a doubt. And, God, even say Dr. Finn breaking down when her youngest son gets poisoned, infected, because of these, aliens that are on this planet that are infected as well, and they capture Dr. Finn at one point. They want her help or something. At least one of them says that. But yeah, and also there was, I thought this was a pretty good one too, Cupid's Dagger. While the crew attempts to meditate a peace treaty between two warring cultures, tensions rise between Ed and Kelly when a familiar face comes aboard, yeah. Yes, because in this one, this is where we get the appearance of, Darulio, I think I'm saying that right. He's the one that, basically that Kelly cheated on with, yeah. It turns out with this guy, he's doing something on the ship that's causing everybody to have an affection or something, something happens with Yaphet and Dr. Finn. They at one point get together, and him and Kelly, they get together again. But then it happens with Ed. He's starting to have feelings for him, obviously there's something about his species, and he's a blue alien, so he can squirt out liquid or something from his top of his head, I'm pretty sure. And and these two cultures, these two alien species that are added at each other, Navarian and a Birdian, they're both ambassadors, and they're kind of added at each other, when at one point, thanks to Darulio, I hope I'm saying that right, he actually makes them get together or something, and at one point their species are about to go to war, but they call it off. And it seems as though that at a hint, he might have been in heat, and that's what caused Kelly to, you know, cheat on Ed and make out with him or something. Probably. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, I think, yeah, with that being the case, I was kind of relieved, because, oh no, yeah, and also Mike Henry, who has worked with Seth MacFarlane, like, say, on Family Guy, the voice of Cleveland, and Herbert the Pervert. He has a cameo in this, as he plays an alien named Dan, and every time, like, Ed and Kelly, they're in an elevator, he keeps showing up, and even at one point, he installed music in an elevator, because he said that, the elevators should have music. Then, wait a minute. The last 3 episodes, this was my favorite. Firestorm. Alara questions whether she's fit for her job when a fire breaks out on the Orville and a crew member dies. This I thought was pretty good. And because Alara, yeah, she was too scared, and because of what was going on in engineering, and, she blames it on herself, but it was never really her fault. And then she starts, kind of, things start happening on the Orville. Like, everybody's starting to see, like scary visions or whatever, and it seems like most of the crew are being killed or something like that. Even say when, one of them being eaten by, like, say, a giant spider or something, arachnic creature, Gordon, yeah, Lieutenant Gordon, like, he dies, like, he's one of the first characters that dies, and then at one point, it's just Alara, and it turns out, a twist, she was on the holodeck the whole time. Everything that was happening, and as I was saying, it was not really happening, it was all happening on the holodeck, and, in the end, we find out that she programmed that in the holodeck, but she had her memory erased, from remembering when she programmed that. So she had no memory of her programming that in the holodeck. So, and again, because in the end, it was never really her fault, And, and then I think, yeah, she does realize that. Even when, say, some of the characters are convincing her and talking to her, yeah. That was such a great episode. I really enjoyed that one. It was one of my favorites, as I said. And then the second to last episode, New Dimensions. The Orville gets damaged by a I'm having trouble pronouncing these words. I'm sorry. Anomaly, causing harrowing effects to all living things. This, because they enter into, an anomaly, it looked like a video game for some reason. Like, that's what it looked like to me. Of course, in the end, they do get out of there. Even say when at one point, like, a shuttlecraft is kind of flattened, and sometimes it would cause a nosebleed to the characters. Yeah, there was that, and then in the final episode, this is where, well, at this point, Ed misses Kelly, and they try to, start again, like they try and go on a date, and well, yeah, that's there's that, and also, but it's not just that. What the main focus is, yeah. The story is the crew crash land on a planet from another universe. Ed and Kelly consider getting back together. Well, there's that too. Basically, this like Earth replica, like, would appear and then disappear for 11 days, and when the 11 days are up, it would show up again, but basically what would happen was when it would reappear 11 days later, it would, on Earth, it would be in a different setting, different century. So, when they first arrive, it was, at the beginning of like, say, the planet, and, these peasants, and Kelly saves one girl from dying, like, curing her head, and, everybody else sees her, and when they get back into space 11 days later, and they go back on Earth, and, you know, they see that, well, Kelly messed up on this, you know. Well, I mean, she did what she had to do, you know, to rescue somebody. Basically, that planet has considered Kelly a god, you know, and saying the word Kelly, like, you know, Kelly will get you, and so on. Even when at one point Kelly does reveal to herself, and, you know, telling her that this is all not true, and it was a misunderstanding, and the technology did the curing, and so on, you know. Well, even say the priest was going to tell the truth about this, and yeah, but of course, who played him? Oh, yeah, it was, well, God, Lenny Von Dolan played Valandis, yeah, and the man in the that's literally what his character is titled, Man in Red Robe, played by Nick Torrin. He kills Lenny Von's character, so you know, the word is never spread, and, you know, the next century, Kelly is still being talked about, and so on. That's when Isaac willingly goes down to the planet, and he's stuck there for 700 centuries and up, and when that Earth-like planet, you know, the Earth replica reappears 11 days later, you know, how the planet has evolved and the technology and future, Isaac does return, and everything is sorted out, and everything's okay now. No more Kelly being a god, and so on. And in the end, unfortunately, you know, and who knows, like, well, and for now, and, you know, at the end of season 1, you know, Kelly said that it was, you know, it's not going to work for them trying to get back together. It just wasn't going to work, and because of, you know, duties and so on. Yeah, that's unfortunate, you know. But you never know. Even say maybe with season 2 and probably say season 3, you know, it'd be great seeing them get back together, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, what a way to end that episode. Just, you know, for, you know, on a sad note that they just, you know, seems that they can't get back together. Or for now, I guess. No spoilers. You know, I want to, of course I'm going to continue watching, you know, the Orville seasons 2 and 3. So, but season 1 was pretty good. And again, this was the start. This was the beginning. It was great. Fantastic. And I'd say definitely, you know, so far, yeah, one of my favorite characters of the Orville has to be Alara. You know, I love her personality, and Hostalin Sage, she does a fantastic job, you know, with her performance as Alara, and, you know, and also her parents. I almost forgot to mention her parents. They're played by the father, Robert Picardo, a.k.a. the Doctor from Star Trek Voyager. Yes, him. And the mother, played by Molly Hagan. Yeah, I've seen Molly Hagan before. I know that name. But, yeah, so they play her parents. And again, that episode, Firestorm, that being one of my favorites, as I was describing. Yeah, that was great. And yeah, because unfortunately, Alara departed from the Orville ship. But it seems as though, yeah, she occasionally would be making appearances. That's great, you know. Just at least have Alara, you know, still continue and make appearances, you know. But was there a reason why Alara departed? And I guess the same goes for Halston Sage. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe you guys know. You can let me know. But with all that being said, definitely a 10 out of 10 for the Orville Season 1. I look forward to watching Seasons 2 and 3. And what about you guys? What do you think of the Orville? What'd you think of my review? And what's been your favorite? What's been your favorite episode of the first season? You know, I could go on. Leave comments and give this review a like as always. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Orville Season 1. More reviews coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And yeah, next time, you might see me wear an Orville shirt. Yeah, I'd say definitely by my review of Season 2, you'll see me wear one. But anyways, with that being said, yeah, until my review of Season 2, take care and peace out.